Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. I hope you guys are doing good. Okay, by special request, we're going to be taking apart and tearing down the Heyday turntable from Target. This is by special request. You guys want it, we're going to do it. So we're going to take it apart, see what's inside, see how it works, see all that good stuff, you guys. You're not going to want to miss this.
This is Record-ology.
Okay, and let's jump right into it. Here it is, the Heyday turntable from Target. This is like $99 new. I bought mine used. It's been a great little turntable. It really, really is. It's made by Littleton, not to be confused with Leo Tech, which is the company that's been coming out with all those cool cassette players lately. That being said, this is a great little unit. It's got an Audio-Technica magnetic cartridge, 2 speeds, Bluetooth, and we did a full review, which I'll put a link above right now where you can go ahead and click on that. Let's go ahead and start by taking off the platter mat. I love how this is flush right here at the spindle hole, and then back here is the motor pulley. We can just nudge that belt right off the edge. And looking under the platter, you can see it is scratched up a little bit. That was prior to my time. But these plastic teeth line up with a little optical sensor on the bottom side of the plinth, which we'll take a look at. But there it is, a pretty substantial platter. I think it's steel, and the belt resides right there on that inner platter wall. Here is the top of the plinth. You see the spindle. You see the little optical sensor right there. This turntable makes use of those little optical sensors quite a bit, as well as the brass-fitted motor pulley. Flipping it over now, we're going to go ahead and take off the screws. This seems to be sort of the main and only access point into the innards of this turntable. By the way, these little feet are amazing. They swivel and they really do a good job of absorbing motion and vibrations. One thing that drives me nuts is the screws go right into the wood MDF material, and there's a little bit of sawdust there. As you can see, it piles up, and you can't screw and unscrew this too many times without stripping it. Okay, big reveal. Here we go. This bottom panel here is sort of like pegboard material. If you grew up and had a pegboard in the garage, it's like that same type of material. I think this is all MDF. I don't think there's any actual wood. I think even the blocks are just cut out pieces of MDF kind of glued together. The overall cabinet is assembled with glue. There are screws anchoring certain elements, such as the transformer right there. We'll take a closer look at that. But overall, it's glued together. That gives it a seamless look on the outside without forcing you to have screws every which way. Now, this is the bottom side of the spindle. Interesting, it looks like there's a grounding wire grounding right towards that spindle. Over here is the bottom side of that optical sensor that lines up with those teeth on the platter. Here's the power supply. It's an AC power supply, so the transformer right there is on the inside. That's preferred. That way you don't have that big ugly wall wart to plug in somewhere. This is definitely cool to see. And everything seems really efficient right here. Here's the back panel of the unit and its corresponding circuit board. Underneath that circuit board, I see a lot of capacitors and other cool things, resistors, and you name it. You see here, there's a lot of clips holding cable bundles together, which is really good. There's those capacitors under there. It seems like the wiring is done very well. It's very efficient. There's not a lot of slop. Things are pretty much, what you need, but it seems like they use quality components. That's the on and off and speed knob, by the way. As you can see, it does connect down to that optical sensor for speed and then back to that main circuit board. This is the underside of the tone arm assembly. We're going to spend a little bit of time here because this thing does something fascinating. Actually, it does a couple of things fascinating, and we're going to take a close look at how it works, and we'll discover it together how it works. And I think it's really, really neat. It uses 2 more optical sensors, and we'll take a look at that in closer detail in just a second. So you can see what we're looking at here. This is the bottom side of this right here. So the tone arm assembly, when you see me rotating it, what I'm doing on the back side or on the front side is rotating it. And that corresponds to that sort of pie-shaped wheel thing right there. As you can see, when I rotate the tone arm on the other side, this piece moves back and forth. Why it moves back and forth, how it moves back and forth, is what we're going to talk about in more detail. But before we do that, look at this pin. Any guesses on what that pin does? You can see that it has to do with adding resistance to the tone arm movement. Well, that is, and it corresponds to these gears here, that is the anti-skate adjustment. So when I rotate the anti-skate knob, as I'm doing now, it positions that pin in a different area, thereby adding tension to the tone arm's movement at different points in its swing. So I thought that was really, really cool. I wonder how that varies compared to other assemblies. Okay, now check this out. So this optical sensor right here, there's 2 of them. Any guesses on why there's 2? corresponds to this black blade. It's sort of this plastic blade that blocks or unblocks the light as it passes through that optical sensor. It's actually a switch. It's a light activated switch. And here's why there are two. 45 RPM, as you can see there, and 33 RPM. So it has to do with the two different speeds. Let's dig in a little bit deeper. Okay, as you can tell, I've added some background noise. Not just noise, but sound. Listen to this. That is the motor being activated or deactivated based on the position of that blade in the switch. So this device, in a very clever way, and I can even activate it with a screwdriver tip, this device helps the platter spin at exactly the right position based on whether or not it's 45 or 33. One more look at the underside, you guys. I'm really impressed looking through this. You know, when you see glue, you may be tempted to be like, oh, it's glue, it's trash. But it's actually not. I feel like this enhances my already high opinion of this turntable. I think it's really good value. You do need to connect it to external speakers, but as a component stereo turntable, I think this is a great starting point. And I've got a lot of great feedback on this unit, you guys. I think Target had a really good idea by going for this. If you like the design element of this, you can rest assured that the actual quality and functionality of the unit will stand up as well. Man, I really need to clean off that platter mat. As I've been having a little bit of difficulty lately with speeds, we're going to go ahead and verify that the speeds are okay. And when I say that, my latest teardown videos, for some reason, when I put it all back together, magically the speeds are off. So we're going to put the strobe mat back on, and we're going to test to make sure that it's spinning at exactly 33 and 45 as well. First of all, here's a couple seconds of me trying to figure out why it's not spinning simply by flipping the switch. It somehow didn't occur to me that you have to actually move the tone arm over the start of the record in order to get it to do that. Sorry, I was having a slow morning, which happens from time to time. Okay, here's 33. It is pretty much locked and loaded. Flipping it to 45. It does take a second, but somehow, in some way, that regulator, that optical regulator, gets it locked in at pretty much exactly 45 RPM. Everything seems to be in order, guys. Great little unit. Highly recommended. I think you'll really like this one.
Okay, guys, I hope you guys thought that was as fun as I did. If you have a special request, something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments down below or shoot me an email. You know what, guys? We got some awesome stuff coming up. A lot of new product reviews, some cool things. We got a couple new series we're going to start working through. But I do love these teardown videos, so we'll probably do more of it because I love to see what's inside of stuff. Anyway, guys, happy record listening, and we'll see you next time.